And good morning, good Saturday morning. Rainy, drizzly, misty Saturday morning.
Play Misty for me.
Much needed rain, however.
Yeah.
We'll take it when we can get it right now.
We need it.
Been a very dry October into November here, but a little bit of rain this morning. Expecting some more rain, I think, within the next hour before it moves on out. But may not see the sunshine today. So maybe a good day to stay inside and watch some NCAA football.
There's going to be some.
Yeah, there is going to be some with
all eyes on Happy Valley.
all eyes on Happy Valley, but won't be looking at Jim Harbaugh on the sideline.
No.
You know?
2 games. Suspension for the rest of the year, regular season.
3 games? 2. You said 2, but is it 3?
They got 3 left, right?
I just thought I saw 3 games.
Yeah.
But, Mike, I think that you
they got 3 left.
You got 3 left?
Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State.
Mike, I think that you might have committed a crime. So while we investigate and see if you committed the crime, we're going to send you to prison for.
Oh, yeah, well, hypothetically, yeah, I know.
You know,
Yeah, they didn't investigate.
how do you do something like this to somebody when you're not sure? So you may cost a team a national championship and then find nothing. I don't know either way, you know, but I'm just surprised that Ohio State got what they wanted out of the deal.
Yeah.
You know, pushed for Harbaugh. And
What does that say about the Big Ten commissioner caving in to
I don't know.
there's outcry from other schools?
Wants to keep his
about
job,
this?
is what it says to me.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't just Ohio State. Other schools were behind it as well. So those are the people that, you know, pay you, vote you in, vote you out.
Right.
So, yeah, he wants to keep his job. And maybe we're going to find out they did do the right thing, but it just seems a little bit.
Yeah, without an investigation.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's ongoing, but it's not complete.
But it's not complete. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
not complete. I mean, but, you know.
Well, of course, Michigan is they're filing an injunction. They're hoping to get a judge to hear this today, I assume, right? What time's the kickoff, Brett, for the
12.
Well, you better get it done fast, right?
Who's a coach in a sport that if you guys just totally dislike and you would like to go after them and see whatever could happen to them? Brett's may be Harbaugh. I know he's not a big Harbaugh fan, but I'm just thinking of somebody in any sport.
Yeah, but I don't hate him that much.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, I don't like Lincoln Riley because he, that's the whole Oklahoma thing.
Would you like to see him be suspended, and would you do something if you could to encourage suspension to the guy?
Not really. I just
That's
don't
what I
like
say. That's
it.
a little over the edge.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that's just a little too far, and it's almost like, you know, I don't know this, but the first thing that comes to my mind is Ohio State knows this game's coming up, and they like to have a break, and they think it is a break if Harbaugh's not on the sideline. I don't know. The question I have is, can he be in the booth? Because the punishment clearly says not on the sideline. So can he be in the booth upstairs?
Well, if he can be in the booth, that won't diminish his ability
Well, it won't be the same, but it won't be as bad.
But I was told, the way I read it, he can practice during the week.
Okay, but he can't be at the game.
Can't be at the games.
Yeah, well.
And that's how it was at the beginning of the season, right?
So it'd probably be the same scenario.
Oh, so he's already an old hand at just going to practice. What was that one for? You said that's how it was at the beginning of the year.
That had something to do with improper
and see, so
recruiting.
I will say this too. You know, I'm defending him, but on this side, I'm not going to defend him. If there's a pattern here, you know, then you're a little more likely then to get suspended. You know, if you already got that record there.
Well, he's going to end up being suspended for 6 out of there for half the season, if this holds true, right?
Yeah.
6 out of 12 games.
And, you know, obviously the next question is, will this be his last year in college football when he heads back to the NFL?
He seems to be burning all his bridges. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. He's definitely burnt the bridge that connects Ohio and Michigan.
Well, I mean, the question now becomes, can Michigan just run the table without him on the sideline? If they're that good, they probably can.
Well, you know, today will be tough in Happy Valley.
Yeah,
you already mentioned it. That's going to be a tough game anyway.
Yeah, this says he won't be at the games.
Cannot be there.
But he can coach during the week.
I don't think it would hurt them as much when they play
Who's in
Ohio
between?
State in the Big House.
Maryland.
Do they play Ohio State in the Big
In
House?
the
or
Big
is-
House.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So Maryland's the
at
last
Penn
home
State,
game.
at Maryland, and then Ohio State at home.
Oh,
The Big
yeah,
House
the
is
Big House. I'm sorry.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. I mean, obviously, when you go into those games, especially, and Maryland's no slouch either.
No,
I mean,
Maryland is no slouch.
Well, all they really have to do is win 2 out of 3, and they should be in the playoff, right?
I don't know. You
Well,
tell me.
I think they need to beat Ohio State.
What if the loss is Maryland?
Oh, then they'll definitely be in.
Yeah, because they beat the two
Yeah.
higher ranked teams.
Well, then, yeah. But
But it
then
just
they'll
looks
be
like
in
a
the
bad
then they'll
loss.
be in the conference championship and have,
Yeah. So this doesn't, unless things change and they find more stuff, this doesn't affect the conference championship game if they are in it. Right?
as of right now, it's just
Harbaugh would be able to coach.
the 3
in-
regular season games.
Harbaugh would be able to coach in the Big Ten championship
Yeah.
game.
And they basically have to beat Ohio State, though,
Yeah. Oh,
to
yeah.
be in that.
Yeah, because same
championship
division,
game, right.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really doesn't matter what happens today
No.
as far as the championship game goes, but it might
Yeah.
on the playoff level. But still, I think the Big
But
Ten
last
champ
year-
is going
Ohio State went 11-1,
and still made
lost to Michigan, and still made the
playoff.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We had 2 Big Ten teams last year.
Yeah, last year they both made it.
So do you?
So I don't see why Michigan wouldn't, if they did the same thing Ohio State did last year.
Right now, you think about it, there's no team that you would push past them to.
Unless the committee holds it against them, this whole
Well, they
sign
could.
stealing thing, and
Which
and
could
keeps
happen.
them out.
Yeah, they could, but they shouldn't. That should not be their focus at all. But But it's human nature for it to be their focus. But they shouldn't figure. That's not their job. That's
Yeah.
somebody else's job. They're there to pick the 4 best teams. Are you glad it's the final year of 4?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Definitely, because there's going to be some really good teams. You've been talking about it in the high school playoffs. I know you're pushing for the 7 divisions, and you mentioned that some quality teams
Because there'll
aren't
be
gonna-
great teams that don't win state titles.
that don't get to the 3rd round like last night. But, yeah, I'm ready for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wish it wasn't. I wish this was the first year of 12. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Or last year.
Yeah.
Any year.
Well,
It's long overdue.
because right now, Alabama wouldn't get in.
No.
Washington wouldn't get
Washington
in.
wouldn't get in.
Look at the difference in college
Oregon's
football.
got a loss.
The difference
Yeah.
in college
Washington's
football and college
9-0
basketball.
and wouldn't be in if it ended right now.
I mean, we take teams with losing records in college basketball and put them in.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
don't, but somebody does.
Oh, yeah.
But we can't get a team that's, who was the last undefeated to not get a chance? What, Auburn 1 year undefeated?
yeah, but that wasn't a 4 team.
No.
That's
That
when it
not
was
the-
just.
That's
was
even worse.
That was
Yeah.
the BCS.
It was even worse.
Yeah.
The BS.
The BS. Not the BCS.
So, if you go by chalk and you look this year, Washington's got the first team out right now.
and they're undefeated.
Would you put an undefeated Washington team in ahead of a one-loss Big Ten runner-up? Or Big Ten champ with a loss? That's a tough decision.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't have to have these decisions,
But I think if Washington runs the table and wins the Pac-12 championship game, how are you going to keep them out?
Yeah, they got to be
I
in
know.
if they go 13.
And
Yeah.
then,
Them out.
and then as much as I would hate this, you could have a 1-loss, 1-point loss by Ohio State or Michigan and not get in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because we know the SEC champion's getting in, right?
yeah. Is there any chance that there's 2 this year?
From the SEC.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Alabama's
I think there's still a
Yeah.
chance.
Alabama's number 8.
If Alabama wins the West and then beats Georgia,
Yeah, what are you going to do with Georgia if they're undefeated and lose the championship game to Alabama?
that's right.
They'll both be in.
Would
Both
you
be
put
in.
2 of them in over the 2 Big Tens?
Yeah.
I would. Well, Ohio State wins some big games.
It's just a mess. 12
is.
teams. You're still going to have an argument at the bottom,
Yeah.
but it won't be near as
Yeah, you won't be arguing over teams that actually have a shot at winning the title, I don't think, at 12. Who's 12 and who's 13?
How big would the argument be today over who should get in, Oregon State or Tennessee?
Oregon State or Tennessee?
That's the 12 and 13.
Yeah. Well, that's tough.
Yeah,
But it wouldn't be like
think, who cares,
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
exactly.
kinda who
besides
cares.
those two,
That's
it's
just
not
it.
going to matter because neither one of them is going to run the table and
Right.
win it.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You
what I'm
might
getting
win
at.
one.
It won't. It's just
But
like
right now, you would be leaving out Washington
Oh, my
or
gosh.
Alabama, and
Or
somebody
somebody
that
from
actually
the Big
could win
Ten.
it all.
and Oregon's probably
Oregon.
better than Washington.
The way Oregon's playing right now, and
Yeah.
they destroyed Utah.
Yeah.
I think Washington has Utah today, right? But
Yeah, they do.
You know what that scares me the most as far as, and I want them to be back bad. I do want them to be back. But it's Florida State. They scare me a little bit that might not be ready for prime
They've looked
time
a little
player.
shaky,
Yeah,
and
at times they do.
especially here lately.
But I do want them to get back. I mean, it's good. It's good for football. We need somebody in the state of Florida
yeah,
that has a good football team
who does Florida State have left?
Miami today,
Yeah.
at home, right?
yeah,
At Tallahassee.
North Alabama, and at Florida.
Hmm.
Yeah, and Florida's a trap game.
Yeah.
You know, playing them in the swamp, that would make their season
Oh, yeah.
because is Florida good enough to be bowl eligible?
They're 5-4. So yeah.
Okay.
But they got LSU, Missouri, and Florida State. So
Ooh.
they got to win one of those.
Man, that's a tough row.
Here's one way to look at this. How would this be for a Final Four? You tell me if you guys would like to watch this if it was a Final Four. Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
And that's your four on the outside right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good group.
Yeah.
That's a good group of teams. Those teams combined have 3 losses.
Yep.
Yeah. To me, that
And Texas has one of the best wins in the country over Alabama.
They do.
8 teams
do.
would be
Well,
8
they're number
teams
8.
would be perfect.
8 teams would be good this year. Eight would hit the nail on the head. Of course,
Yeah.
Ole Miss, I would feel bad for them.
Well,
At eight,
I think it
8-1.
drops off a little bit after 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ole Miss
depends.
has Georgia today, so we'll see what they can
Ooh,
do.
where at?
Is it between the Hedges and Athens? I'm not sure.
Yeah, at Georgia.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
it makes it
tough.
look different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It automatically changes your point of
If
view.
that was an Oxford Ole Miss.
Does Georgia
maybe-
play every game at home?
That's what you
When
get for
have-
winning back-to-back
When
titles.
have they been on
All
the
home
road?
games.
When have they play
It just
on the
seems like
road?
every time I flip on a Georgia
Well, they're
game,
at Tennessee next week. I do know that.
either that or there are a lot of hedges.
Yeah.
around
All I'm
the-
hearing
around
is
the,
between the
SEC.
hedges.
It just seems like Georgia. Look that up, Brett.
Let's
if
see.
their
They've
schedule.
played 3 road games so far.
Alabama's the same way.
Alabama's the same way. Well, every time I watch Alabama, they're in white, which indicates they're on the road.
After today,
But it does seem like it. I think
Georgia-
it's the
this is their 7th home game, and they've played 3 road games. Georgia,
7 home games
What
versus
road
3
games do
road.
they have left?
and they've
At
got
Tennessee,
at Tennessee and
that's
at Georgia Tech, the last 2. So it'll be 7 and 5.
Georgia Tech's not playing bad football.
it. No.
Tennessee not playing bad football.
Yeah, Georgia would kill Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you 30 points.
Well,
30?
Now Tennessee, I
Depends
think,
on what we're
will be a
betting.
Yeah.
competitive game,
it could be competitive.
Tennessee.
and
can
Ole
play
Miss, I
with them.
think, can be, but it's an 11-point spread. That's kind of surprising. I
As-
can see it being within 7.
As a college football fan, do you want to see Georgia three-peat and be the first team since the 30s, isn't it? Like 90 years?
I personally don't, but that's just
Yeah, I just like
my
to see a little more
preference.
parity,
Yeah.
you know?
It depends on who else is in it and who they're playing. If it comes down to Georgia and Michigan, yeah, I want to see Georgia
You want to see
3-peat.
Georgia?
No, I'm for the maize and blue.
What
No, I
about
wanna
Georgia and
see
Ohio
Michigan.
State?
I'd be
No.
either way.
Neutral.
Either
Bad-
way,
bad
either way,
either way.
it would bother me.
Bad either way. Yeah.
But I will take Ohio State over Michigan any day.
Mike's favorite team here is one of the quietest 7-2 teams I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Oklahoma.
No, your favorite team. Missouri.
Oh yeah, Missouri. I don't drink the water. No.
He's 7-2.
Yeah,
7-2.
I know.
I haven't looked.
They've had a pretty good year.
Brad will have to tell me. I'm not gonna get off track here because I'm worried I'll lose my spot and it'll take forever to get back. But what kind do they have a quality win in those 7? And who are their 2 losses to?
Their losses are to LSU and Georgia.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Who are their wins?
No, their best win is at Kentucky.
All right.
Which is a decent win. Kentucky's
Yeah.
a good football
Well,
team.
yeah. I mean, that's a quality win.
Yeah.
But they got Tennessee today.
As I say, it's a quality win. I can't find Kentucky in my top 25.
Well, they beat Kansas
There they are.
State.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
That's a pretty good win, too. Kansas State was ranked 15th at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a bad win.
Yeah. Beating Kansas State's always a pretty good win. They seem to get up for big games.
Yeah, ask Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean,
Oklahoma can't beat them. They don't play them this year. It's probably the only reason they're not going to be beat.
K-State ranked 25th at 6-3. However, North Carolina and Duke today.
Yeah,
Is Duke's quarterback back or not?
I don't
Nah,
think so.
he's
not.
I think he's done.
he's done.
Then you definitely give Carolina the edge in
Yeah,
that
I
game.
say Carolina by 2 touchdowns.
And they're at home too, right?
they're at
in
home.
Chapel Hill.
Well, you're pretty close to the spread's 13.5. So
Well, it's going to be a bad weekend for the Dukies all around.
Yeah, I lost last night on the hardwood.
Yeah.
For Duke, but think about this. You don't even need to watch college basketball till February and March. I mean, because
No, not unless you're a purist and
Yeah.
you just love the game. You're
yeah,
right.
because it's so different from college football.
Oh, yeah.
When you got to win every night,
Yeah.
well, I don't really get into it until football
it's over. It's over. That's where I am. Once the Super Bowl ends,
Yeah.
I'll start.
Well, no,
watching.
I'm thinking when college.
I'm not
football's
saying I
over.
won't watch some, but
So,
I'm even with the Super Bowl. Once the Super Bowl
mid-January.
ends, then I really get into college basketball.
No, yeah.
Yeah, well,
when they hit
you're
that
right.
home
These
stretch.
early season.
I'm more NBA than.
I mean,
college
even the
anyway.
ACC games don't have the
No, the impact.
impact that they once did. And even back then, it's so opposite than what it is today. Back then, back in the 70s and 60s, 70s, only the tournament champion got in, and today everybody that gets in,
Everybody's getting in. Yeah.
basically that's got a winning record, gets into the big dance. But
What-
it's so different from football.
Y'all are talking about teams possibly being left out. What about Texas, who has one of the
That's
best
a really
wins
good team, a really good
at
team.
Alabama?
Yep.
If they win out and win the Big 12 championship game, they've got to get
You have to help me. Who is their one loss to?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
On a last-second drive, right?
That's
They
right.
took it down the field on the last drive
That's
to beat
right.
them, and a neutral field.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a quality. That's a quality loss in my book. But
Yep.
yep. Well,
And the teams Texas has left to play,
Well, who they got left?
they'll be favored for sure. TCU,
He's
Iowa
having a
State,
bad year.
and Texas Tech.
Hey, they can run the table.
Texas.
easily.
Texas needs one team above them to lose. That is not named Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, or Washington. Now, do you know why? Well, Oregon and Washington, have they already played each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington.
Well, you
beat
can't count that one. I was just thinking somebody's got to lose between Ohio State and Michigan.
them. Yep.
But if I don't even know, I'm guessing an undefeated Washington and an undefeated Florida State would get in over Texas, and that's pretty sad this
Yeah.
year.
But what if you had two 12-1 Alabama and Georgias? Would they get in over Texas?
Yeah.
I don't know. If Texas and Alabama are both 12-1, and Texas beat them
Yeah,
head
they
to
have
head
Beat them
right.
head to head.
at
You
Alabama.
might just have to go with Texas over Alabama.
That's what I'm
at that
thinking.
point.
That wouldn't please Nick Saban.
No, but you know what's going to happen, don't you? It'll all work out
I know.
between now and the time.
I
it'll
know.
all
We
work out.
always say,
Yeah.
how are they going to get past this?
And right now,
snafu?
Texas is 7 and Alabama's 8. So I would guess that's wise because they beat them head to head. And
So if this were next year,
I think
Ohio
those-
State, Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State would get buys today. Number 5, Washington would be taking on Oregon State. Number 4, Florida State would be taking on Louisville. Number 10, Penn State.
no, Florida State,
I skipped
they would
one.
have a bye. Florida State's 4.
Yeah, I didn't go down far enough. Washington would take on Oregon State, right?
Yeah.
Number 5. Oregon is 6. They would take on number 11, Louisville. That would be a decent game, wouldn't it? A lot of athletes. Then the next team down is Texas at number 7, and they would take on Penn State. Not a bad first-round matchup there.
Not at all.
And then comes Alabama taking on Ole Miss in a conference game. And then you get to the big round. That following round would be huge when you got, the winners in the first round playing the top 4, playing at Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State.
Yeah, Ohio State would get the winner of Alabama and Ole Miss. So you'd have Alabama and Ohio State.
Yeah, supposed to be. Yeah, I think so. Good crowds. Maybe first and second.
Yeah, I think just the Final Four is that neutral,
the neutral sites.
Yeah.
That'd be good for college football. And it's just over a year away that we get to see something.
Can you imagine Alabama at Ohio State in a playoff game?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want it this year, I really do. I can't have it, but I would like to have it this year. Let's see. What happened last night in college football? SMU defeated North Texas 45-21, and it was UNLV over Wyoming 34-14 last night.
What was that again, that last score?
Wyoming.
Okay.
I'm sorry, UNLV winning 34-14.
Over Wyoming.
Over the Cowboys of Wyoming.
Yeah.
And it was at UNLV. I don't know if that matters or not.
Where was Tark the Shark?
Resting in peace.
Yeah.
With a towel.
With a towel. Wrapped around his neck.
Yep. We'll get into the schedule in just a minute. I do have a texted-in trivia question.
Okay.
Good trivia question, it says. Who is the only Heisman Trophy winner to play on a losing team that season? Played on a losing team the year he won the Heisman. That is a good question.
Wow.
Because I got no idea.
Oh, okay. They didn't give you the.
Didn't give me the answer
okay.
yet. How far?
George Rogers? No.
I don't know. Mike throws a guess out there. We'll see. That comes from Scott Cloninger.
I was thinking one of those Notre Dame guys in the
back in the
60s or 70s might have won it on a losing
Darryl
Notre Dame
Monica.
team.
Celebrates Hanukkah.
Darryl Monica celebrates Hanukkah.
Also, Jason says the biggest what-if scenario is if Ole Miss beats Georgia today and finish the regular season with an 11-1 record, but will not play in the SEC championship game since they lost to Alabama and won't win the SEC West. What does the playoff committee do with the Ole Miss Rebels? Yeah, that is a good question, and that's why we need to get up to maybe when we get to the point where we have 12 teams, you won't see one-loss teams sitting out.
You would hope.
I know there's a chance. We got a guess on that right here. Rodney Willis says Paul Horning.
That's who I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what? I think that's right.
Yeah.
Good guess.
Yeah.
And he might have been even earlier than what I was thinking, but
it seemed like he played on like a 5-5 team one year.
But he was at Notre Dame at a time when Notre Dame was Notre Dame and everybody else. I guess. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Well, they weren't them and everybody else if they had a losing record.
That's right.
Were they? Wonder what his stats were that year that were so convincing to win the Heisman. And who was?
That's it. They were 2-8.
I'd like to know who the
2-8, and he won the Heisman.
Wonder who the Heisman runner-up was.
2-8,
and what the team was he played on, and what their record was. So, wow. The big one is today is at high noon. The Harbaugh's Michigan at Penn State contest. Alabama at Kentucky. Trap game for Alabama here. Kentucky's not a bad team.
That's right. That could be.
Kentucky is a team that I think can match the
physicality.
They can match the physicality of Alabama. And it seems to me even like that's one thing that's lacking from this Alabama team a little bit, Mike. They're not as physical as some of the Tide teams in the past. So he also guesses Johnny Majors, Tennessee. So Rodney's got a couple guesses coming in.
Johnny Majors finished second that year in the votes.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
now, I don't know what
Tennessee's
record
was. Telling me is Johnny Majors was second. Now I know Rodney's got the computer out because of his memory's got that. He's a sick man.
This says Johnny Majors was asked who should have won the Heisman Award, and he answered Jim Brown. Jim Brown finished fifth. in Heisman voting.
But he won Player of the Year.
I don't have any
lacrosse.
of them's stats.
He might have won Player of the Year in lacrosse, and they didn't want him to double up. Kansas, number 16 in the nation today, is at home against Texas Tech. Tulsa, here you go, Butch. The Tulsa Hurricane going to Tulane today. Tough matchup.
Coming off a bitter loss to Charlotte.
Coming off a loss to Charlotte, that's correct. Indiana at Illinois. Illinois in the who cares game of the week.
Nobody cares.
It seems like Illinois is always involved in that Big Ten matchup that we'll kind of go in those. Somebody's got to win game of the week. Maryland at Nebraska. I'd have to go with the Terps in this one. Nebraska's had their struggles under first-year head coach Matt Rule. Yes, Matt Rule. The new rule is in place.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt at South Carolina. Boston College at home to take on Virginia Tech. Georgia Tech at Clemson today. Clemson with a big win last week. They're not, they're just above 500, right?
Yeah,
but
5-4.
But a big win last week over
Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was.
Brett didn't want me to bring that up. I hadn't thought about that. I just knew they won a big game. I couldn't remember
if you want to talk about the most disliked coach, in my opinion, it's
Dabo.
It's the one down at Clemson.
Yeah, I think Dabo.
Even Lanny's not a fan.
Oh, really?
And
Lanny being a Clemson guy.
Of Dabo. Why is it?
Oh, I just the camera's on him too much. I mean it.
Well, I think now it's because he's said some things about the portal, about the way things are in the college game now, and people are criticizing his refusal to adapt and not look for transfers to bolster.
Well, he's not doing everything he can to make his team better.
Yeah.
So that would turn the Clemson coaches.
Right.
I mean, the Clemson fans. I'm sorry, not coaches. The Clemson fans. Might turn the coaches against him too, but it would definitely turn the Clemson fans against him if he's not doing everything he can to make the team
well, another thing.
better.
His most transcended teams had great quarterbacks. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
I don't think he has that now.
Yep.
And
Both
hadn't had
NFL starters.
And he hadn't had that in the last
now.
3 or 4 years, so that could have something to do with it too.
Yeah.
Last week against Notre Dame, they ran the ball really well, and it wasn't Shipley. He was out with an injury.
Yeah.
It was, and I thought this guy was.
I'm glad you brought him up. I've been trying to think of his name for a week.
Yeah,
maybe
me too.
Maybe
Will
a
Shipley.
stronger runner than Shipley. I don't
It was
know
you and I, Mike,
Yeah, it was.
trying to figure that out.
Phil Maffa, 6'1", 230 pounds, and he was tough.
He's a bad maffa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The biggest game in college football today is the CIAA Championship, says Jason Barber. 3 o'clock, Fayetteville
All right.
State University, Virginia Union University. Fayetteville State is going for back-to-back CIAA championships. We wish
All
them the
right.
best today.
Absolutely.
On TV?
It probably
Probably
is.
is.
It probably is on TV. Rodney says not a fan of Sweeney. Is he talking about Sweeney Todd?
The Barber of Seville.
He says he gloats and whines. Well, you know what? I'll say this: you can say that about a
A
lot
of them.
a lot of coaches.
Yeah, but I think he gets on.
And if you don't like
He
somebody,
gets on camera and does it more than anybody else. That's what I don't like about
Gene
him.
says Maffa should have been running all year. I agree. He's a bad man.
He was good. He was really good. And I didn't think Notre Dame came to play last week. I don't know if it was the noon kickoff. I don't know what it was.
Well,
And they had beaten Clemson pretty bad last year, and I think Clemson was fired up.
Right.
They just got them at a bad time.
And Clemson not having the greatest year, a win like that
Yeah.
kind of capped their year off for them.
Well, I got to ask you, Brad, at this point, are you still all in on the coach, on Freeman, Marcus Freeman?
All in,
Yeah.
90% in.
Okay.
They need a new offensive coordinator.
Did he say all in or Paul in? Yep. Mike and I be the only ones old enough to know who
Paul
that is.
Lynn. Hey.
They lost their offensive coordinator in the offseason and promoted their tight ends coach, who had never been a play caller. And I think it's you've been able to see that this year. Is that? Yeah, but I do like Marcus Freeman, and I think. I mean, I don't know of anybody I'd rather have than him.
Who's the hottest?
That would be available.
Is there a coordinator out there right now that would be the hot commodity come off season when teams are looking for coaches? Because
I tell you who I do like is Notre Dame's Al Golden, who's been a head coach before.
Well, he was at Miami.
Yeah.
If he wants to be a head coach
Golden
again,
child.
he'll go be one. I don't think he'll head coach a big time program, but
what's his age
a good coach
right now? He's in his golden years.
50s.
He's in his golden years.
I would say he's.
Is he 50s?
Probably 50s.
Oh, he's young. He's still young at this point. I didn't realize. I think Al Golden. I think 20 years ago he looked the same age as he does.
I remember
today.
when he was in Miami,
he
he strode the sidelines in khakis, a white shirt, and a tie. At Miami.
Yeah. Who wants to wear a tie
South
in
Beach.
Miami?
Yeah,
South Beach.
He's 54.
54.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's been coaching a long time.
Has he got a Carolina connection of some sort? It seems just to me like there's something something about.
He's from New Jersey. He played at Penn State. He's the closest to here he's ever coached was Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
And he was head coach at Virginia for a while, right? Or am I wrong?
I don't
No.
know about that.
Defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator. Where all has he been head coach?
Head coach at Temple, then Miami, and that's it. Then he went to the NFL and was he actually was a tight ends coach in the NFL and then a linebacker coach. He went back and forth from offense to defense.
Richard says, not sure if you know, I saw the story of the decision on the hands of judge who is a Michigan alumnus. Thought that was interesting. They are awaiting a ruling according to ESPN. I guess that's accurate. Yeah, I think I heard that too, that the judge involved in the Harbaugh stuff
is a professor, teaches law at Michigan. I mean.
Well, you know what? I don't know which way he should. I'm a little surprised still that they ruled that he can't roam the sidelines whenever they. I think you have to wait till you have 100.
100% proof.
Yes, but all the pressure's on this guy to do it since he's a Michigan guy. Because if you don't do it, they say, well, of course he wasn't going to do it. He's a Michigan guy, so he gets a notch in his hat for that, for not letting the alumni be. Being an alumni be.
Yeah, here's one game. Here's a team that now has been forgotten as the 24/7 news cycle moves on.
Oklahoma?
Arizona. That too. But I'm thinking of Colorado, who's playing Arizona today.
Yeah, they've had it a little rough. Lately. Mm-hmm. Heard Dion on Dan Patrick. It was really good. Mm-hmm. It was really good. Earlier this week. We're going to take a break in a minute, but I got to tell you guys real quick. One of you guys mentioned he's on camera too much, and you were talking about Dabo. Was that you, Brad, or was that Mike? What do you consider on camera too much during the game?
Well, it can't help how much they're on camera during the game.
Okay. Because I was going to tell you this. Dan Patrick told the story this week that when Robert Saleh, he was a hot commodity when he was the 49ers defensive coordinator. That's why he's a head coach today. He was one of the best, up and coming coordinators. Dan Patrick said that he sat there one day and he said he knew they showed him a lot, so he started charting it with a pencil every time they showed Robert Saleh on camera. He's a coordinator, 49ers, NFL game. How many times do you think he charted him being on camera in that
As
game?
a coordinator?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's going to be some extreme number, or he wouldn't have even mentioned it.
No.
25.
15.
113.
What?
In that game. On camera, 113 times in that game. Is that overexposure?
That's
Yeah.
overexposure.
I don't know. He got a head coaching job.
But it's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault.
It's the production team.
It's not his
In
fault.
the
130. That blew my mind when he said 113 times they flashed
They
to
didn't show
him.
the quarterback 113 times.
I mean,
113.
I guess
And I don't know if he said I quit then or if that was the grand total, but it was something like that, 113.
Well, they still like to show him now, and it's usually a frustrated look on his face when they show
Yeah,
him.
it's yep. That's got to be a tough situation.
But I think if
coming into
Rodgers
the
hadn't
season.
went down, I think they'd have been.
They
I
could
think
have
they'd
been
really good.
They could have been good, yeah. They could have been good. Number 21, Arizona, that Mike said today, goes to Colorado to take on the Fighting Deons. K-State's at home to take on Baylor. Appalachian goes to Georgia State. NC State playing at Wake Forest today. What State's record? Are they at their 8-3 point yet?
Yeah,
Are they going to win 8?
they're probably gonna win 7, right?
Hey, there's something in 3, I think. So it's 6-3.
Well, they'll win
they
2
just need to
more.
win
Don't
2
they
out of
usually
3.
go
8-4 is their normal
8-3,
record.
8-4? I
Yeah.
mean, is Miami at Florida State. I remember back in the day, this used to be the game that you stopped everything you were doing to make sure you watch Miami play Florida State
When are
back,
we gonna-
back
when
in
are-
the Bobby Bowden days.
When are we going to forget about Miami returning to the elite? I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, and they just lost to NC State last week,
That's what I'm saying.
20-6.
I
Only
mean,
scored 6 points.
I'm guessing this is Rodney's hot coordinators here. And I'm not talking about their looks.
No,
I don't think
I
Rodney would
didn't
go
think
that
you were
far.
either.
But Brian Hartline, Ohio State offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, Washington offensive coordinator, and Florida State offensive coordinator Alex Atkins.
Yeah, Hartline, he'll be a head coach pretty soon probably, unless he just loves being at Ohio State. But I think he did play there.
And then Lenny says, I don't remember Al Golden with any UNC connections. No, I wasn't particularly talking about UNC. I was just thinking about the state of North Carolina. It just seemed like something, maybe had a cousin lived in Winston-Salem. I don't just some kind of connection. I don't know. It seemed like I had him linked to something, but maybe not. Northwestern goes to Wisconsin today. Minnesota at Purdue in Big Ten action. Washington State at California. Ole Miss at Georgia. That's a highlight
big,
game tonight at 7 o'clock.
It's a biggie.
How much more would you want to pay attention to this if it was played in Mississippi?
Much more.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a big difference.
Yep.
We would be all over this game if it was a home game for Ole Miss, but since it's at Georgia, we just assume that it's going to be
2 touchdowns.
at least a 2-touchdown win. Well, Mike Sooners at home to take on West by God, Virginia.
Trying to break a 2-game losing streak.
Michigan State. You talk about a program in shambles. Michigan State goes to Ohio State today. How bad will this be?
Oh, gosh.
As bad as they want it to be?
Yep.
Texas goes to TCU. Not a trap game this year, I don't think.
No,
for the Longhorns.
TCU they lost a ton to the NFL. They're down. I mean, I'm not saying they couldn't pull an upset, but I wouldn't expect it.
Duke and North Carolina, this one didn't mean much to the markets because if you're going to watch it, you have to watch it on the ACC network.
Yep.
UCLA is at home to take on Arizona State tonight. Iowa State at BYU. For some reason, that is interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know why.
You like BYU.
I do like BYU, but Iowa State is always a team that,
Well, they
what's their record? Maybe I'm
they started slowly.
overanalyzing here. Just seems
either
to,
one of them ranked. I have to find them.
BYU and no, neither one are ranked. That's at 10:15 on ESPN.
Iowa State's 5-4. They're third in the Big 12.
The same. BYU's the same. 5-4.
Here's the thing, though. If you ever want to watch a game because of where it's being played, watch one at BYU because it's in the mountains in Utah. It could be snowing. You never know.
Yeah.
But that's just a beautiful setting for I'd like to go to a game there one time. I'll put it that way. Arizona State at UCLA. Oregon's at home to take on Southern Cal. How much chance do you give Southern Cal in this one playing at Oregon? And Oregon's got a lot on the line. They're still playing for a national title.
Well, Southern Cal's quarterbacks, they're always going to have a chance.
Yeah, they're going to score points.
As long as they got him.
Yep.
How many points did their defense give up against Washington? Was it 50?
52.
52.
Well, that's just it every week for Southern
Cal.
Cal.
They beat
they have
the week
to
before
outscore.
they beat Cal 50-49.
They did finally fire the defensive coordinator, whom Riley took with him from Oklahoma. He was bad there too. So
we're running a little behind. Let's take our first time out. Before we do take the time out, I'll give you this real quick. Butch says it's a great day celebrating our veterans today. Maiden Sportsman providing fish fry for the vets today.
awesome.
get out there and
also a parade in Lincoln at 11 a.m.
Parade in Lincoln, Veterans Day Parade in Lincoln at 11
Lincoln.
a.m. Yes, trying to get a hold of Mr. Nick Baxter as well about that. We'll take a time out. Back with Sports Talk here in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Dr. John Cloninger III is celebrating 25 years of practice here in Lincoln. Dr. Cloninger's pedigree originates from his father, mother, and uncle and continues with his brother and cousin. The name is an icon in the field of dentistry. Dr. Cloninger has dedicated himself to his patients and community and continues to lead by example. He has heard his whole life, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He wants to sustain the family name and proceed by offering the best reasonable treatment possible. Dr. John Cloninger III, 904 Doncha Drive in Lincoln. Call 704-735-0765.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
How to please the whole crew on game day? How about a 40-piece chicken McNuggets from McDonald's? Epically crispy, so juicy, so tender, and all the dipping sauces. Right now, 40 chicken McNuggets made with all white meat are yours for only $10.99. Well, yours and whoever you're watching the game with. My advice, double down on your defense because 40 chicken McNuggets disappear surprisingly fast. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Century Drug in Boger City is the first pharmacy in the area to offer peace of mind for you, your caregivers, and for your family with a convenient poly pouch, strip pouch system, just like the one you've seen on TV. No more sorting through and keeping up with your multiple bottles of medication. No more filling daily reminder boxes. No more calling in meds and worrying about refills. You'll receive all your medications once a month in a box that dispenses a convenient, easy-to-open strip pouch that is perfectly labeled for breakfast, lunch, bedtime, etc. Century will be the link between you and your doctor to assure you that your medication profile is up to date and refillable. In other words, Century Drug will do all the work. You just take your medications and be healthy and happy. Call or come by for a visit today. 704-735-2551. Century Drug, East Main Street in Lincolnton.
Tim Johnson here from WLON. Folks, if you are looking to buy a new metal building, let me tell you the place to go. Unrivaled Metal Buildings in Lincolnton. With over 20 years' experience, they specialize in metal carports, garages, RV covers, storage sheds, and more. They service over 40 states. They offer bank financing and a credit-free rent-to-own program. All of their units are engineered certified to meet local wind and snow requirements. Commercial sizes are available as well. Address is 2541 East Main Street, Lincoln, or call 844-848-8676. Also, check their website out at unrivalledmetalbuildings.com.
And welcome back. Yes, we can't have 12 teams in the play. Or no, we can't have. Not yes, we can. We cannot have 12 teams in the playoffs this year in college football, and every year would be great, though. You know, I mean, we go back and look at the last 10 years, and it would have been much better to have 10 teams in there instead of just a handful that we've had.
Well, if nothing else, we're going to have variety.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
for
right.
me, I mean,
I'm not, I don't think we'll ever see the team. I don't see a 11 or 12 ever winning the national title.
no.
But you also don't see the 63 and 64 team winning the national title in basketball either, I
Nope.
mean, it's just
No, I'd say most years the top 4 teams still going to win it.
right, but at least you give those teams an opportunity.
Yeah.
And it might help their programs down the
That's
road
right.
and I
Well,
think
there's
you see
some
more
years
parity.
where 5 and 6 are really good and might be
Right.
capable of winning it.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer right now Oregon could win it.
And
I do
Alabama's
too.
8 right now, and I think Alabama could win it.
can win it.
Oregon
It's
has
just
a-
been my thought. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I've just always thought the more teams get in, the more parity you'll have because all your best players in the country don't want to just go to the top 4 schools. If you think if you live in Oregon, but you want to go to Georgia because they're likely to be in there, well, now all of a sudden Oregon's going to the playoffs more. So it's okay. I'll stay at home. Just things like that might make it everything a little more, a little more parity. As we move forward. And I apologize. I forgot something before we went to break.
Ooh.
I forgot something before we went to break. So are you ready for your first lyrics of the day?
I'm ready for it.
Let's just see how ready you are. I'm starting off easy. Everybody listen to me and return me my ship.
Oh, of course. I know what.
Of course. You don't know it, you'd say it.
Yeah, I do.
I think you do know it. I started off easy, started off light. Everybody, listen to me and return me my ship.
Um,
The next line would give it away.
it's Grand Funk. The Captain song.
I'm your captain.
I'm your captain.
Hey, good. I'm your captain. I'm your captain. We'll give you another one.
I got one for you.
As we
later.
go to break later on, we'll go give you another one.
I
But if Mike's got one
you,
for
but
me, go
Not
ahead.
now. But
You can anytime you're ready.
I ain't ready yet.
Now, don't give me some off the wall.
Nah.
As I look for my next sports information, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit here. What group do you think you know the lyrics of better than any other group? Just think about that, and our people can weigh in too. If there's a
Springsteen.
group out there,
Springsteen.
Springsteen,
Oh well, I have to say the Beatles,
yeah. You know what I think when I
followed
think
by the Stones.
when I think of overall though, like America or something like that. Not the band America, but I think the Eagles.
Well, yeah.
I think that
those are
everybody
etched in our mind.
likes the Eagle. Do you know anybody that just says, I don't
Not a-
like the Eagles?
not a one. No.
And I think they have songs that you can sing along with.
Yeah.
They
You
were
know,
so radio heavy.
And
Yeah,
so
that's right.
the lyrics of the Eagles, I would think.
Well, they're easy to understand.
they are.
That's true.
They are.
Sometimes Mick Jagger's kind of hard. You have to look up some of theirs.
Yeah,
to
you
see.
ought to listen to the latest
what,
album.
What did he say?
Hackney Diamond.
And then you oh, he said that?
Yeah.
And if you think he's hard to understand, listen to Keith Richards.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Yeah. Keith don't know what he's saying. So how's the how the
And he was
listeners-
on Howard Stern recently, and it was an awesome interview. It was really
I got to
good.
get back to Stern. I haven't listened to him lately.
Oh man. Let's do things just a little bit different this morning. Let's head straight into high school football now. Big night last night and Thursday night for the high school football teams. Rodney says lyrics well known by these two. Jimmy Buffett, absolutely,
Yeah.
because of your people.
That's true.
This one I think's a little more puzzling to me. If he said
Parrothead
this
Nation.
one. He says ZZ Top, but I think ZZ Top has some lyrics that I think they have something that you also have to look up to see exactly what they said.
Can you please tell me the lyrics of LaGrange? I can't.
Haul,
really
haul,
figure
haul,
that.
haul.
Haul, haul. I mean,
I got those.
dang.
We did LaGrange one week, didn't we? Didn't we have those on one week? Might have been the week Mike wasn't here. I was going.
It had been many weeks.
It's been so long though that Brett and Mike, I think, were on the set together. I started to introduce them when they came in this morning. It's been a while since they were in here together. And thanks to Lenny Anthony, our good buddy, for filling in over the last couple weeks. On Thursday night, high school football, Robbinsville defeated Mountain Island Charter 40-7. Tarboro 48-0 over Northampton County. Lakewood defeated Perkins 35-28. This one was tied at 28 late in the game. Lakewood scored a late touchdown to win. And Northeastern defeated Edenton Holmes 55-28. I saved these for last because a little more well-known in our area. Reedsville defeated West Stokes 42-7, which was the number 1 seed in the 2A West bracket, right? All roads go through Reedsville to get to the state title game. Lincoln fell to Shelby 41-21, and Salisbury, this one surprised me a little bit, not the winner but the score. Salisbury shut out Maiden 40-0 to eliminate the Blue Devils. Not a good week as a whole for the CVAC.
No.
1-5, is that right? This week?
Yep, this week, second round. That's right.
1-5.
1-5.
Or 1-4. 1-3.
1-3 this week.
1-3.
Yeah. Bandy's lost last
That's
week.
right. Bandy's was a loser last week. But, before I move on.
But they had to play Shelby, Monroe, and Salisbury. I don't think anybody really expected
the CVAC
teams to beat those.
It was really when it was really a bad week was 2 weeks ago when the brackets come out, and you saw those second round matchups. I mean, that was like the gauntlet. That's what we called it.
And Bandy's had to play Monroe in the first round.
Yes.
Yeah, tough matchup.
Yeah, Monroe has knocked out 2 of our local teams now, and gets a chance at another next week.
And even Bunker Hill had
Monroe is going for the CVAC championship next week.
Yeah.
Be their third straight, right? Match up with the CVAC team. That's pretty incredible.
And they eliminated Lincoln the last 2 years.
The last 2 years they have. But what I was going to say is congratulations, Maiden and Lincoln, on their seasons. Not having a bad season, making the playoffs, winning a playoff game before getting eliminated on Thursday night. As we go to Friday night scores last night, and I'll be the first one to tell you here, I haven't looked at all of them yet. I haven't searched every one of them yet. But before we get into them, I'm going to give you Roger says Leonard Skinner lyrics for him would be the time. And Leonard Skinner is good.
Yeah, they have some memorable.
They do
lyrics.
have they got a lot of memorable stuff, but they definitely have some memorable lyrics.
Now you can go to. There's a place on Max Preps you can get these in order, where they're not just all thrown in.
There is.
Yeah. So if you go to the NC high school football scores.
Yeah.
And
sort by
related content says North Carolina football playoffs. Go to that, then you can click on each class and you can get them in order.
Oh. Sort by class?
Yeah. Okay. I see North Carolina football scores, high school football scores, North Carolina football headlines, related content. Is that what you said?
Yep, related content.
And then click on the thing under it.
It says North Carolina football playoffs.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then you got each class right there.
You just been doing too much research.
I can't find that. Oh, NCAA playoffs. Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm.
And then when you pull it up, it's going to be in the first round. You have to click on second round.
And it's also like
for whichever class you choose.
It's also like the tournament bracket, right?
It's not in a bracket format.
Mine is.
Okay, well
I don't know if that matters.
That's even better.
All right, second round games. Then we'll do 1A, and I tell you what, since we're getting down to the nitty gritty, we'll just give the East and the West. How's that? We already mentioned Tarboro 48-0 over Northampton. Here's the problem, Brad. It don't give me the full name of the teams.
Southeast Halifax.
Southeast Halifax. Okay. I see
Yeah,
it now.
I can't
I did
go
find
with
it
that.
on a different bracket. Southeast Halifax beat North Duplin 26-21. Mike's favorite team, Beargrass Charter, his second favorite team, I should say.
Yep.
He's always
Fear
got
is
Cape
my
Fear.
favorite.
Rosewood beats Beargrass Charter
Oh,
48-17.
man.
And it was East Bladen defeating Northside. I'm guessing that's Northside Jacksonville.
That says Northside Pinetown.
Okay, Pinetown. A lot of North Sides. 25-18 in that matchup. On the west side.
No, you still got four
I
more
still got
games.
East. Ooh, I didn't know there was that many. Wilson Prep defeats Weldon 50-8. Northmore over Bertie County 58-20.
Mm-hmm.
One we just gave you a few minutes ago, Lakewood over Perquimans 35-28, and West Columbus beats Pender County 54-6. Not quite as many close games in that particular bracket.
Somebody please tell me where Corvian Community is.
Brett knows, I think. Don't you, Brett?
Corvian Community.
It's in Charlotte.
Is it?
It is right beside Mallard Creek High School.
Who was eliminated last night, and we're going to get to that in a little bit, Mallard Creek High School. Clinton defeated Beddingfield last night, 56-15. It was Southeast Alamance. Say, that ain't right. What is that, Brett? Can't see it. Southeast.
I have to go back.
Over Cummings, 21-14. A big Cummings starting to
Now, how'd you get to
reestablish
2A?
their.
You skipped to 1A West.
Good question. Maybe I don't like this new format.
No, you're not on the page. You're not on the page I am because it has the full team name.
You give 'em.
I'm
Let
with
me
you.
just give the
You
1A,
give 'em.
1A
Do it.
West.
Do it.
Robbinsville beat Mountain Island Charter 40-7, and they'll take on Swain County, who beat Bessemer City 42-7.
So two Gaston County teams eliminated in that first bracket. there.
Yeah. Mountain Heritage over Starmount 38-14, and North Rowan beat Corvian Community 49-34.
You know, in that Starmount game, I'm pretty sure it's 14-14 at one time, but Mountain Heritage pulled away.
But let's give Craig Lloyd credit in his first season at Starman.
Yeah.
Got
Oh, yeah. I
him to the
think he
second
went
round.
something in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good season. What would that be, 10
Yeah,
and 2?
and,
10
Scott
and 2.
Kleinger said the team went to the Daniel Boone Inn before the game for
Pre-game
the pregame meal last night.
Yeah.
Wow. Starmount did?
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
So it'll be Mountain Heritage
Did
at North Rowan next week.
Might have been a little heavy, though,
I was
Mike.
going to say, how many ham biscuits did they eat?
Eastern Randolph over Hayesville 39-10, and Thomasville over Albemarle 41-13. It'll be Thomasville at Eastern Randolph. I think that's a good matchup.
I wonder how many times Thomasville and Albemarle have played each other.
Yeah,
It seems like a lot.
Yeah,
A lot of matchups between those two in the playoffs.
Murphy beat Bishop McGinnis 59-14, and Mount Airy 42-0 over Mitchell. Mount Airy is just on a roll.
Yeah, you
And
will.
they'll host Murphy next week.
You will see Mount Airy and Tarboro in 4 weeks in Chapel Hill or somewhere.
How many points has
guessing.
Mount Airy given up all year?
4.
It's low. Let's see,
Like 20 some.
25.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
25
an average of
in
what a
12
game?
games.
2
2.
points a game.
Yeah, everybody scores a safety on them.
Well, then he must have 5 or 6 shutouts.
So that means offenses hasn't scored at all.
Oh, they've got 9 shutouts.
9 shutouts. God.
Only 3 teams have scored.
Wow. Impressive. Go
In the-
ahead. Continue.
in the
I like it.
2A East, Clinton, the number 1 team, beat Kinston 64-12. And Beddingfield over James Keenan 18-16.
Wow.
Wait,
what was
wait,
that?
wait. That's first round. I got to go to second round.
Yeah.
Clinton beat Beddingfield 56-15.
Yep.
And Southeast Alamance beat Cummings 21-14. So that was an upset. Southeast Alamance will be at Clinton. Hertford County over Wallace Rose Hill 58-44. That's another upset.
Let's say this. They're upsets by seeding.
Yeah, well, I think that one's an upset.
Yeah.
Over
Some
what,
of them may
what
not be
everybody
true
thought
upsets,
was going to happen.
but
I think
sometimes it looks like an upset
people
just
thought
because
Wallace
of
Rose
seeding.
Hill was going to win that game.
Right. Yeah, I would have.
Nash Central over West Craven 56-28.
A lot of points.
Southwest Edgecombe beat Farmville Central 55-12, and Whiteville beat the defending champ East Duplin.
How about that?
28-7.
That's pretty decisive.
2A defending champ East Duplin eliminated by Whiteville. So it makes you start wondering now, how good is this Whiteville team?
Yeah. Princeton over Lewisburg 35-33, and Northeastern over Holmes 55-28. And then in the West, Reedsville beat West Stokes. That was Thursday night, 42-7. And they'll play Brevard, who beat North Stanley 36-7. Monroe over West Lincoln last night, 35-27, and that game was tight the whole way.
Yes, it was.
And then Bunker Hill over Burns, 21-14, which we saw.
Yeah, Bunker raced out to 21-0. Looked like it was going to be a blowout, and then didn't score again. Did not score again.
Yeah, and Burns scored their 14 in the second quarter.
Yep.
And neither team
Scoreless
scored in the second half.
And Burns had many opportunities.
But both teams had chances.
Yep.
Bunker Hill even had a field goal that they lined up for where the snap was bad. And
but number five, Willis.
Yeah,
Bunker Hill, 2 interceptions, and they were huge.
He was
2 big interceptions in that game on defense.
He was kind of controlled in the run game, but
Yeah.
he was big on defense.
Yeah. Great players find a way.
So Bunker Hill will host Monroe next Friday.
What do you think about that one, David?
Bunker Hill wins. Monroe's not at home.
Monroe has had
Get them away from their home.
on the
they're
road the last couple of years.
Bunker Hill moves on next week.
Bunker Hill did lose an offensive lineman to what looked like a significant injury last night.
Looked like a broken arm, didn't it?
That would
Just
be my
hearing people
guess.
hearing people talking and stuff. It sounded like a broken arm.
Community School of Davidson beat East Surrey 25-18, and Forest Hills over Randleman 35-14. So that sets up a rematch. Forest Hills at Community School of Davidson. They played earlier this year. I think Forest Hills beat them by a touchdown.
Close one.
That's the end for Trent Lohman.
And then
I will go with the team that won the first time. It seems like if you go back and look at last night's rematches, the team that won the first time
won
again.
second time.
And both of these games were on Thursday. Shelby over Lincoln 41-21, and Salisbury over Maiden 40-0.
Gene, I messed Gene up last week, so he's letting me have it. He said, since you took Bunker Hill, I'll put my money on Monroe. I don't want you – yeah, first of all, don't ever bet any money on what I say unless you do go the opposite way. I'll say that for sure.
So in the third round next week in 2A, it'll be Brevard at Reedsville, Monroe at Bunker Hill, Forest Hills at Community School of Davidson, and Shelby at Salisbury.
That's an intriguing game for me. Shelby at Salisbury.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
After
I think
seeing
Salisbury
Shelby
probably
play.
be in front of at least 150 fans.
Yeah, I don't know what Salisbury's home crowd is like, but Shelby going to Salisbury, they're not going to have a big crowd.
They didn't have that many at against Lincoln Thursday night. Lincoln, on the other hand, had a great crowd.
They did. They had a big crowd.
Yeah, it was pretty full.
Pretty good crowd.
Yeah, I think Shelby and Salisbury might be the game to see. Shelby.
Tell me once again the matchups that Shelby and Salisbury.
Yeah.
Bunker Hill, Monroe, Reedsville,
Brevard,
and
Forest Hills Community School of Davidson.
Yeah.
And let me just look at that score right quick. Forest Hills Forest Hills beat Community School of Davidson 21-14.
Low scoring, one possession win.
And that's Community School of Davidson's only loss.
Wow. That should be a good rematch. But
yeah.
What you got?
We'll move on to 3A in the East. Havelock over Cape Fear, 27-15.
Mike, you're gone.
Oh, I'm done.
Havelock over Cape Fear.
Max Cady is in a depression.
Never fear.
Greenville Rose over North Brunswick, 14-7. Scotland over Southern Durham, 21-12.
That's Scotland County now, right?
Yeah, Scotland County. Northern Nash beat Southern Nash at Southern Nash, 35-32.
Wow.
And that would have to be a rematch. I don't know who won the first,
Yeah.
but I would guess Southern Nash was the 4 seed, Northern Nash was 13, so that Southern Nash might have beat them the first time.
Yeah.
Southern Alamance beat Jacksonville 25-19.
And don't forget this, too. Northern Nash trying to get back to the title game.
Yeah.
They were
right.
defeated by East Lincoln a year ago, so Northern
right.
Nash looking to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Sanford over Harnett Central 43-22. Fike over Currituck County 37-25. Fayetteville 71st over Burlington Williams 40-20. And then in the West, it was Crest over Statesville 28-16 in probably a lower scoring game than the Crest people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and
That might be their lowest.
Statesville
lowest
led
of
at
the
least
year.
half of this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was West Charlotte over High Brighton 29-8. So they've eliminated High Brighton 2 years in a row.
Didn't realize that.
Robinson won the rematch over Northwest Cabarrus 27-17.
They won the first one and the second.
Dudley over Central Davidson 48-6. West Henderson knocked out defending champion East Lincoln 37-7. Oak Grove over Pisgah 23-16. AC Reynolds over Kings Mountain 15-0.
Yeah, shutout there, and yeah, I
And
can't. That matchup next week. Go ahead and give that
And Hickory.
next one.
beat North Lincoln 48-28.
The game was tied at 21.
Mm-hmm.
North Lincoln and
Yeah.
Hickory was
Was it?
tied at 21, and then Hickory pulled away.
Will somebody please explain East Lincoln the whole season to me?
Nope,
Can't do it.
nobody will.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yep. AC Reynolds and Hickory is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these matchups should be interesting, but AC
Yeah.
Reynolds at Hickory, that's one I wouldn't mind seeing. I'll tell you right now.
AC Reynolds has
defense
3
is
losses.
unreal. Yeah,
They were to West Forsyth, East Forsyth, and Watauga. And they have wins.
how bad did Watauga beat them?
36-35.
And you're getting ready to get to one of Watauga's biggest wins in school history when we
Yeah.
go to the 4A.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just give the matchups for next week in the 3A West right quick. It'll be West Charlotte at Crest.
Woo!
Good one.
I like it.
J.M. Robinson at Dudley.
Great matchups.
Oak Grove at West Henderson. And AC Reynolds and Hickory at Hickory.
Yep.
I might like to go Hickory way.
Yeah, I like
Not
AC
Crest
Reynolds
also.
Hickory as the top matchup, I think, out of the 4 games you just said. I mean,
Yeah, I don't really know how
One I'll
good
keep
West
an eye on.
Charlotte is, but they did beat a couple of the big 4A Charlotte schools this year.
But then they were just waxed by North Meck, who
yeah,
only won,
who wasn't
what,
one
5
of
and
the
5,
wasn't one of
maybe?
the best
Yeah,
teams in
can't
Charlotte.
figure that out. Cannot figure that out. Go ahead and get to the 4A.
In the 4A East, Roseville, the number 1 seed, beat Wake Forest 49-13, and that's a rivalry game.
It used to be one high school.
Yeah. Fuquay Varina beat Ashley 10-7.
Oh my!
That was a 25 beating the 24 seed.
Wow.
So both
How
of them
about that?
pulled
Big upset.
road upsets last week. Yeah. Cardinal Gibbons over Millbrook 55-21. And Clayton beat Pinecrest 17-10. Hoggard over Jordan 39-16. Laney beat Apex Friendship 38-20. And Newbern, the defending champion, beat New Hanover 36-15.
The defending champion that had it vacated. But
Oh, yeah.
that's neither here nor there. Go ahead.
And
There's
then
still a
Cleveland
chance.
beat Leesville Road 49-21. And then in the 4A,
Brown's getting it done.
4A West, Weddington over Chambers 14-10. That's it. That sounds like a typical Charlotte powerhouse score.
It does.
14-10.
It does.
Charlotte Catholic went.
God, Weddington is the number 1.
Yeah. Charlotte Catholic went to TC Roberson and won 24-21. Huff over Porter Ridge 45-12. Grimsley beat Sun Valley 56-24. Mount Tabor won at Mooresville 19-14.
Yeah, Mooresville was the 3rd seed overall.
Butler,
Loses at
who
home.
seems like the forgotten Charlotte team to me, who's always, I mean, they're always really good. Beat West Forsyth 47-7.
West Forsyth will remember them.
Yeah. And Independence beat East Forsyth 34-28.
Now that's a big win.
Yeah.
Right there. East Forsyth always in the mix for the state title. That's
And
a
then-
23 beating a 7.
Yeah, and then the final game, Watauga over Mallard Creek 20-14.
I still say that's got to be one of the biggest wins in
Yeah.
Watauga history. Getting
Oh,
Mallard
yeah.
Creek to come up the mountain. Watauga, yeah, they're the 2 seed. But now Independence will be making that trip.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's interesting right there in itself. Independence going up the mountain to play Watauga. All these are good.
So
Mount
for it-
Oliver and Butler.
I saw some clips of that game between Watauga and Mallard Creek.
The
and
best one on paper has to be Huff and Grimsley.
Yeah, Huff and Grimsley. That's defense against explosive
Yeah.
offense.
But how many times have Weddington and Charlotte Catholic played each other? I know Catholic's a 24.
Yeah,
but
they
that's
used to
not a
be.
typical
They used to be
24.
3A
Yeah,
playing each other.
yeah. And now Weddington and one of them's going to advance. You know, one of them's going to advance to the 4th round. But you know, I'm guessing they played each other this year. Would they not be in the same conference?
No,
No?
okay,
Okay.
not anymore.
Okay. So probably hadn't played unless they
Yeah,
played
so it'll be
another
they didn't
conference.
play.
Okay.
It'll be Charlotte Catholic at Weddington, Huff at Grimsley, Mount Tabor at Butler, and Independence at Watauga.
Oh man, yeah. You know what?
Charlotte Catholic's not as good as they have been. I would say Weddington's probably a big favorite in that game.
If I could pick one of these games, like to be on an odd night, so I could just go see it and not miss one of the others I want to see, you know what? I would go to Boone to watch.
Yeah,
I would.
yeah,
I
that
would go
be
to Boone
good.
to watch Independence in Watauga. I would like to see that. And you know, we talk about some of the crowds being down. Butch said the crowd at Salisbury on Thursday night was small, sad home crowd. He said there. I guarantee you, in Watauga, it's not a sad crowd.
yeah. Well, I saw some clips of that game last night. So
Was it? Could you see the crowd?
good crowd, great crowd.
That's what
for
I figured.
Watauga.
I just think Watauga.
Nobody for
Yeah.
Mallard Creek,
Yep. I just think that's,
and it was foggy too. Look kind of foggy and
Yeah,
misty.
yeah.
Don Revel sent me something interesting from the Crest game last night. He said their top receiver, who is headed to North Carolina next year, had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties and was ejected.
Ooh.
It get overturned
and
this
will
week.
Well, that's what he said. Crest will probably appeal.
Yeah,
but
it'll get
as of
overturned
right
this
now,
week.
he's suspended for that West Charlotte game.
No matter what the issue, 95% of the time these things get overturned to a disqualification.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and you know, I would say some need to be and some don't, but it seems like they all get reduced
Yeah.
to a disqualification, does it not? So we'll see. I mean, I don't know, but leading receiver on the
Crest.
Crest team.
Yeah, and he's
Crest.
not just their leading receiver, but he's their best player.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I want to mention this real quick because it is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Ned says Cherville and Post 100 have a short parade at 11 a.m. Vets are invited and should meet at the City Hall parking lot on Main Street and can walk or ride to the gazebo park for the presentation and speaker. He
Right.
says thank you. And he said his lyrics are Tom Petty and the Beatles, not Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, but he's listed both groups.
I know
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty lyrics pretty
Tom
well
Tom
too.
Petty lyrics are pretty catchy as well. And speaking of lyrics, as we go to timeout, let me go ahead and give the next one. So it's, Mike Powell is a whopping 1 for 1 this morning.
All right.
Let's see. Let's do this one. I got a couple pulled up here. A couple that I'll copy and paste them every week so I don't have to look them up and I know what I'm going with. Let's go with this one next. Crossroads seem to come and go. Yeah. The gypsy flies from coast to coast. Back in a moment.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry is not just a name, it's the way you're treated the minute you walk in. A full-service dental practice with over 20 years experience and lifelong resident of Catawba and Lincoln County. His commitment and caring run deep in the community. Located at the intersection of Highway 150 and Business 16 in Denver, he's convenient to where you are. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, so look no further for your dentist than Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry. Call 704-489-9919 for your appointment or more information. Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry.
Sooner or later, everyone wants to make their home dreams a reality. I'm sure you've seen the television shows and flipped through magazines and you know what you want. Or then again, maybe you're not sure. You know that you want something different and something better. Get started today by contacting the building professionals at Key Builders in Lincoln. Visit the website at keybuildersnc.com and check out their many floor plans. There's one there for you and your family. Key Builders, locally owned and operated at 1459 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. See the page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Hi folks, this is Will Poteet, President and co-owner of RE/MAX Crossroads. The real estate market is ever changing, but it's not too late to sell your home for a great price. If you're thinking about selling your home, give us a call at 704-736-1717 to speak with one of our expert agents. We would love the opportunity to earn your business.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us. David, Brett, Mike here with you as we actually late in the third quarter here of the
I got a lyric for
shows.
you.
Throw it out there. Well, wait a minute. Let's complete the one that I gave because Brett got it.
He got it.
And Lenny got it.
Okay.
The one I threw out there was crossroads seem to come and go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The gypsy flies from coast to coast. And Lenny and Brett both got it with Sweet Melissa by the Allman Brothers. First line of the song Sweet Melissa.
It's just Melissa.
That's right. He says Sweet Melissa, and I always want to call it Sweet Melissa. But
the
real title is just
Melissa.
Not just Melissa, but Melissa. One more thing, Mike, and I promise you I'm going to let you do this, but while I was on Lenny there for a minute, he had sent us the lyrics he knew, and I never did mention them. But Bob Seger and Jimmy Buffett lyrics are the ones that he thinks are very easy to remember.
Got that for sure.
Yeah, Bob Seger. Way Up Furman High.
Way Up Furman High. How are you going to forget that?
It mentions the University of Furman. It's the only song I know that mentions Furman.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Furman High School.
Well, you know, guys,
That's true.
There's a lot of songs in rock and pop with the titles of the songs are actually numbers, right? I mean, 25 or 6 to 4, and we've seen others. But
that is one.
Yeah. But anyway, here's the song. It's Slash. It actually has a number title.
Guns N' Roses?
And another title. Here's the lyric.
You got to get in your microphone now. You can't look at your lyric and say it. You got to talk in the microphone.
Who saw your name and number on the wall? That's all. I can't give you any more than that.
Is that a question or?
That's a lyric.
Okay, that is the lyric.
The question in the lyric. Who saw your number on the name and wall?
That don't make sense.
Well,
on the name and
who
wall.
Who saw your name and number on the wall?
That makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Who saw your name and number on the wall?
It sounds familiar to me. Who saw your name and number?
Not Steely Dan.
On the wall.
No.
Not the Stones.
But the title of the song is a number.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stones?
No.
You know what number I came up with? 19th Nervous Breakdown.
19th Nervous, yeah.
Well, I was thinking Hey 19 by
Hey
Steely
19
Dan.
by Steely Dan.
Now that's weird that we come up with 2 19s.
Yeah.
I know. That's not it.
Let's see if somebody can get it.
The immediate thing for me was 25 or 6 to 4
Yeah.
by Chicago.
Oh, somebody got it.
Who was
I know it already. I know it, but I didn't get it. I'm going to give credit to Ned.
All right.
But the first thing Ned said was Steely Dan. Ricky, don't lose that number.
All right.
But he's got it. He's got it.
I bet
It's
he-
Tommy Two-Tone.
Tommy Two-Tone, that's right.
Is it? I thought
He sent me the number.
867.
Yeah, and I'm going to call it and see who I get. Jenny, don't lose that
Jenny,
number.
don't lose that
867. Ned, way to go.
Way to
He
go,
got it
Ned.
quick.
Quick.
Got it quick. I like that.
I thought that'd be a stumper.
Yeah. It would have been for me. I would have probably sat here a while trying to think of it.
Well, if you didn't say that the title is a number.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
a long time before you get it.
Yeah.
Or me, anyway. But now, is that the title or is it Jenny?
It
says Jenny and the number, right?
Yeah, I
Is
think
the title.
so. One of them's in parentheses.
Yeah. It says 8675309/Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good one though. That's a good lyric to.
I was just thinking about songs with numbers in them the other day.
Well, you know when you came up a minute ago with 25 or 6 to 4, what's the first line of that song? I can't think of it. That's not
that Waiting for the Break of Day.
Waiting for.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's
Way
right.
to go. I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I can think of is Saturday in the Park, which we used to play all the time back when we could play music. You know.
Yeah, that one's first line is Saturday in the Park.
That would give it away.
Can you think of any other famous songs with numbers in the title? Struggling right now.
Oh, I'm sure they're out there.
No, they're out
I'm
there.
sure they're out there. That could be good. People can give us songs that have numbers in the title.
Yeah.
How about groups? 38 Special. Or,
a lot of those.
That's what came to my mind. Anyway, Brett had asked me a little bit ago to.
That song didn't age well, by the way. You have to have the area code thrown in there now. 8675309.
Yes, you do. You won't get anything.
No.
with just that number.
Nothing
anymore. Yeah. Yeah, now the song is extended a little more. 704 865 53 867 53. Let me give you the right number anyway. Just a little bit talk about West Lincoln last night and trying to take down Goliath, and they nearly did.
Yeah.
Went to Monroe last night, had a tie game at halftime, 14-all on a fake field goal attempt for West Lincoln. Gideon Allen lined up, the quarterback lined up as the kicker, and the snap was to him. He threw a touchdown pass in the end zone, tied that game up. But Monroe just too much in the end, outscores West Lincoln in the second half, 21-13, wins that game. West Lincoln, 52 carries, 264 yards last night. Touchdowns from Caden Smith from 2 yards out. The Gideon Allen pass right at the halftime to tie it up. Smith another touchdown of 1 yard out, and then Gideon Allen a 2-yard rushing touchdown for the final score last night in their game. West Lincoln 64 yards through the air on 4 of 7. They did throw a pick in that game. Smith finished the game.
I saw that pick. That was in that desperation
time. Yeah.
Last time they had the ball.
Yeah. Caden Smith, 26 carries, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns last night. Allen ran for 74 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Winnix limited last night by the Monroe defense to 38 yards on 11 carries. And that was probably the biggest difference then in the game, that they held Winnix. They held one guy in check.
Yeah.
And it was Winnix in that game.
But still a good, I mean, what'd you say, 50 carries for 200, basically 250 yards?
264.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you need to do against somebody like Monroe.
That's what, 4.5 yards a carry? Just doing and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. 4.5 yards a carry. That's plenty good.
What a great effort. Yeah. Obviously, the game planning, some of the plays they called. You said the fake field goal, but outstanding.
Defensive standouts last night. J.J. Fansuk, 6 tackles in the game. Gray Ponder, 6 tackles, half a sack. Gideon Allen, he plays on both sides, had 5 tackles last night.
He's gotten better and better at quarterback.
And he will be back next year as well.
That's huge.
Just a junior.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
Yeah.
I was impressed the one time I saw him this year.
Yeah.
He's a good athlete.
Yeah.
He's good on the basketball court as well.
That's true.
A couple more. Camden Same with 3 tackles. Keegan Bostic, 3 tackles as well for the Rebels last night in that losing effort. But I tell you what, I really don't think anybody can say anything negative
Not at all.
about the West Lincoln season, and especially the West Lincoln effort last night, because, in the past we've seen –
nobody thought that'd be a 1-touchdown game.
No.
Right.
Maybe some West Lincoln people did,
Right.
but nobody outside of there thought that'd be 1 touchdown.
And they went down there and they jumped on them first. They led 7-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, excellent season. What is it, 9-3? Went to the second round of the playoffs.
Exactly,
Played
9-3. I mean, that
played one of the top programs in the 2A class.
I would love to go back and
terms.
look at Monroe's history, though, because it seems like get them away from home field,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a little different.
I know they lost at East Surrey a couple years ago. I have to see who knocked them out last year. Because it's been once they've had to go away from home is when they've lost.
I thought you were going to look up and see who knocked them out next week.
Yeah. Well, they'll be at Bunker Hill.
They will be at
and that
Bunker
will be a
Hill.
totally
They
different
will be at Bunker Hill.
atmosphere than they're
Yes,
used
it will.
to.
Yes, it will. They'll be playing in front of a huge crowd because they're going to give Bunker Hill a big.
They lost at Burns last year.
Lost at Burns.
Is that
last
where you're
year.
going?
I don't know yet.
49-40.
I don't know yet.
They lost at Burns.
I want to go somewhere. I
Yeah.
just don't know where.
Well, the folks we traveled with last night, the first thing come to their mind is Shelby at Salisbury.
Okay.
So that's an option as
There's
well.
probably some barbecue places.
And there'll be some. We'll probably be able to get a seat.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one negative.
you'll definitely
about that
be able to
game
get a
would
seat.
be
There won't be any atmosphere.
No atmosphere.
There won't be any atmosphere. That's sad.
Who's grass playing? There'll be an atmosphere there.
West Charlotte.
West Charlotte.
Well, for grass
One side.
anyway. One
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, that's another one that they won't travel
I mean,
well.
The
Honestly-
best atmosphere might be Monroe, Bunker Hill. You think?
That's going to be great, but I'm not. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now. AC Reynolds at Hickory.
That's
and that's not far.
That's a good one.
That's going to be
That might
atmosphere.
be the one.
That's
going to
be atmosphere.
Yeah.
AC Reynolds usually has good fan support.
Yeah.
No matter where they go.
And that's a pretty big stadium.
And
too.
that's just, to me, that's going to be a great game.
Oh yeah.
To me, that's going to be a great game. It's offense against defense, just like Brett was talking earlier about Huff, wasn't it? And and Grimsley.
Grimsley's averaging over 50, and Huff gives up 7 a game.
Yeah, something's got to give.
AC Reynolds has won 8 in a row after a slow start.
Yep. But that slow start, look at those teams.
Yeah, they played.
Oh yeah, 4A teams.
Yeah. Yep.
And they did beat Shelby.
They did beat Shelby, who's still alive in the playoffs.
That's right.
And Shelby Salisbury looks like a great matchup. Now we don't know. We might go and go there and then be disappointed. It looks like a really good matchup, but I don't know. I think when you get this far, all these are, all of them are going to be good matchups. It looks like to me.
Speaking of AC Reynolds, of course they shut out Kings Mountain. Any surprises there? I picked AC.
I think
some of our group picked.
I picked
KM.
Kings Mountain.
They did.
But
It's
I knew
it's a
that-
surprise to see anybody shut
I
out in
knew
the playoffs.
Kings
me
Mountain
too.
wasn't good on offense.
Yeah, had a good defense, but not that great on offense.
I just thought they might out athlete and out physical
Yeah,
AC Reynolds.
that's
but,
true.
But they didn't.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that don't happen a lot is out physicaling AC Reynolds.
No, not out physicaling, as they say.
And who look up the coach?
I don't know. AC Reynolds isn't really that's not really a mountain team.
Look
That's
up the coach though of the. Look up the coach for AC Reynolds, and I wonder if it's the same guy that's been there. If you said the name, I would know it, but I can't think of it right now off the top of my head. But he has been there quite some time. If it is the same
Shane
guy.
Laws.
That's it. Shane
Shane
Laws.
Laws.
Yep. You guys remember we went. I don't know if you were along.
There's
or not,
71
Mike.
players on their roster.
71.
Yeah.
We went to AC Reynolds Washington Place South Point one year when there wasn't a game.
Yeah, a regular season
Yeah.
game.
Did you go with us on that one,
I
Mike?
don't recall that one.
But he was the coach then. He's been there a while now. Shane Laws. So getting it done.
And what I read on NC Preps was they lost their best running back in the Jamboree, the Cleveland County Jamboree, and he has not played all year. And they said if they got to the third round, he could come
play.
back.
Ooh.
Now I wouldn't expect him to carry it 30 times
No.
next week, but they might just have another option that they can give the ball to.
Yep. If you
But yeah, I think that's the game.
And I
wanna
haven't had
see.
a chance to see Hickory, even though they played East and they played North. But so they might
I hadn't
be
seen
good.
Hickory play football since the 90s.
Wow.
If I was going to say, if you've never been to AC, you won't get a chance this week. They're on the road. But if you've never been to AC Reynolds, it's
I've
worth the
been there.
trip, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
Brett.
Yeah.
It's worth the
I've
trip
been
to
there.
go there and see a game. It's really a nice
Way
stadium.
back in
nice atmosphere.
1920. No.
AC
Actually-
Reynolds and Asheville, both.
Actually,
really
Yeah,
nice-
Asheville was
really
even
nice
Asheville
stadium.
was even better, honestly, for the view, because it's on the side of a mountain. The stadium's on the side of a mountain.
They have one
Asheville.
of the prettiest schools too.
Yes.
It was
yes.
1983. Lincoln, and quarterback by Speedy Smith, goes up the mountain to play AC Reynolds. I saw
Came
that
away
one.
with a loss.
Came away with a
unfortunately.
loss.
But that was after they had beaten Crest.
After they had knocked off previously undefeated Crest.
Ned says when the Jenny song was new, no area codes then. People would call and get a house in Gastonia. I mean, I thought it was a middle school in Gastonia. I always thought it was a middle school and they had to
Gastonia.
change their number. Ended up having to change their number. Yes, I saw a story about that Gastonia number on a local.
I got
TV
another
news.
one for Ned. If he gets this one, he's truly a scholar and a gentleman.
One second. One more comment. Lenny says this is why when I taught for a year at Southwest Middle, the Roadrunners, by the way, Southwest Middle in Gastonia, 867-5309 was the school phone. It was the middle school phone. Walk in the front door, and the 45 vinyl is encased on the wall.
That's cool.
It is.
I like
Not
that.
sure if they still have that number. I wouldn't think they have that number.
No,
because, at one time I had to get irritating.
Tommy Two-Tone.
Yeah. Now what you got, Mike?
No, okay. I'm still on that theme of titles, song titles with numbers. I'm going to give you the artist that you got to name. He's got 2 songs with numbers in it. Wilson Pickett. Name the songs.
Land of a Thousand Dances.
Yep, that's one of them. Bet you the other one's not as easy.
He don't do Midnight Hour, does he? Is that who does? Wait.
Yeah, he does
Does
Midnight
he?
Hour,
Yeah.
but that not.
Well, it's 12 a.m.
Well, that's
or
right.
p.m. Which is it?
Okay.
Nobody knows Midnight
It's neither.
Hour.
It's just 12.
But he doesn't. Yeah, but the numbers
It's
not
12
there. He does
midnight
say
and 12
midnight
noon.
hour.
I don't think it is AM PM.
That's not what I'm thinking of, though. If there's another song.
I think, but
Strictly
1 second
is.
after though, it goes to
12:01
Yeah.
AM,
Yeah.
12:01 PM. Yeah.
In the
Yeah, I know.
midnight hour.
All right, let's let our audience think as well while we take our final time out. We'll take
Okay.
our final time out, and when we come back, a little NFL for you.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Al Lane Motorsports is now Power Max Motorsports. Yes, the name has changed, but the great products you've come to know and trust are still there. The new Power Max Motorsports will continue to carry the full line of Can-Ams and Toro mowers, and they will feature a full service and parts department. Drop by and meet the new folks today. They want to get to know you and your needs. The new Power Max Motorsports, Highway 27 East at the Highway 73 intersection in Lincoln. Drop by and see them today. Full Throttle Power Sports and Law is proud to announce the addition of Brian Lane to their sales staff. And Brian wants to take this time to invite his friends and former customers of Al Lane Motorsports in Lincoln to come see him at Full Throttle Power Sports and Law, featuring brand names like CF Moto, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Polaris, and more. See Brian Lane at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Law, online at ncfullthrottle.com.
For where 2 or 3 have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
Triad Corrugated Metal in Lincoln is this area's headquarters for premium metal roofing and supplies. And now just arrived, square tubing for metal carports and metal buildings. Give them a call at 980-429-2278 for pricing and sizes. And they have a wide variety of colors. Visit the website at triadcorrugatedmetal.com and like them on Facebook too. Triad Corrugated Metal, 108 Industrial Park Road in Lincoln.
Buying a Bobcat is now easier than ever at West End Sales in Vale. Now get 0% APR financing. That means low monthly payments. Or you can get $1,200 instant rebates on selected models. Now is the time to buy. Like we said, it's easier than ever. Again, get 0% APR financing or get $1,200 instant rebate on selected Bobcat models at West End Sales at the Highway 1827 West intersection in Vale. Online at westindsales.com and like them on Facebook too.
Well, one thing we were going for this morning is we were doing number songs as songs with numbers in the title. And, of course, Hey 19, very popular. We'd already mentioned that.
I love that one. Yeah.
But I came up with one that I really don't like, and it was 99 Luft Balloons.
Yep.
And,
German, by Nina.
No, I hate that song. There's a few songs I just don't like. That's one. Venus is one of the songs I really don't. I really don't care for some reason. Some of them I can't get to the knob quick enough to turn some of these as well.
We should do we should do one like we did a song you wouldn't want anybody else to hear you sing.
Yeah.
Sing in private. We should do which song would you turn off first if you heard it somewhere?
Venus.
Yeah.
Venus. 2 songs with numbers here from Lenny.
All right.
8 days a week.
Yep, good one.
And this one's got 2 numbers. This is great. This is doubling up. 9 to 5.
9 to 5. That's right.
9 to 5. Dolly Parton.
I'd turn that one off.
Yeah, I think I would.
That says, thanks for clearing up the phone number thing. Wilson Pickett had an Engine number 9 song. Is that the one you were trying to get?
The one I'm thinking of.
Oh, wow. He's got one and you didn't even know it. Wilson Pickett had an Engine number 9 song way back in junior high days, he says.
Okay.
When I listened to the Sound of Soul, G16,
Sound
WGIVAM,
of Soul.
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah, and somebody said, dang, David, 99, not 99 Balloons. No, I agree with you, Ned. That is not one of my favorite songs. That's why it came to my mind. You know, some things you just some things you dislike so bad you can't get them out of your memory. Yeah, give us a song. Yeah, Mike's got a good
the
point
one I
there.
hate.
Give us
Mickey,
one.
Mickey, old Mickey.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey. Nah.
Who was that? Who was that?
That's one of those 80s one hit.
Yeah, I know. What was her name?
I can't think.
Hey, Mickey. I got one more lyric for you,
Mickey.
too. I got one more lyric that we did not get to. Well, I started out down a dirty road.
Oh, I know that.
Started out all alone. But don't blurt it out because, you know.
I think I might know more of his than Springsteen.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Great lyric. Well, I started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone. And I'm going to give you the next two lines. And the sun went down. And the sun went down as I crossed the hill. And the town lit up. The world got still.
It's Springsteen.
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
Pink Floyd's got a song by the same title.
No.
Totally,
really?
totally different song.
Yeah, they do.
Same title.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I hadn't thought about that, but they do. Yeah, totally different sound.
Oh yeah.
You're right, but yeah. Ned is on it. He got it. He got this one. He got the artist. Yep. One more time, Mike, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the NFL. Well, I started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone. And the sun went down as I crossed the hill, and the town lit up. The world got still. Yeah, I like that. That. And he even got the name of the song, too, which is great.
I like that lyric.
Yeah, that's a good lyric. It's a good lyric.
If I only knew the song.
Yeah, and here is a hint. Brett and I have seen him in concert. So I don't think you were. He wasn't with us on that trip, was he? Brett, myself, Gene Reap.
Yeah, I think Jim Urey was
Jim
there.
Urey. Yeah, yep. We went to see this band.
And he's passed now.
Tom or Gene? Yes.
Yeah.
I just gave it away.
Unfortunately,
I just told
both
Mike
of
who
them.
it was. I just told you who it
He
was.
didn't hear you. Hey, what about you? Got any stats on Shelby the other night before you go to NFL? I was wanting to see their quarterbacks numbers.
Yeah. Hold on a minute, sir.
This quarterback,
He is working on it as we
sophomore
speak.
quarterback, I thought was really good.
Mike, that was Tom Petty learning to fly.
I was going to say
Tom
yeah.
Petty.
I knew it was Tom Petty.
You can't. Yeah, evidently, I got you. I knew it.
Okay, yes.
You knew it like Barney doing the preamble.
The quarterback you're speaking of is Land Farmer, 6'4", 200-pound sophomore.
That's his stats. He's a sophomore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he can sling it. And he's hard to bring down.
I had him 14 for 24 for 341 yards, pair of touchdowns.
14 for 34, though.
24.
24.
Oh, 24. That makes more sense.
But 14 completions for what'd you say? How many yards?
341 yards.
That's a heck of an average.
Kept
for
finding
completion.
receivers. Lincoln didn't get any pressure on him. Occasionally he felt some pressure, but he would just move up.
Yeah,
the
he was
pocket
good at moving around.
and find somebody.
That's 24 yards of completion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the big time completion.
And a lot of
yards
it
per
just
completion.
right over the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you look most of the time.
Yeah.
You look down the middle of the field.
7 of his catches went to Isaiah Bridges.
Isaiah Bridges is a man.
Is tough.
He is. I mean,
I think
he really
it's
is.
Isaiah, but yeah, you
Isaiah
can say it
Bridges.
is a.
Isaiah Bridges.
Well, Isaiah is a man.
Is tough.
Yeah, he is tough.
He's a
He
little
was
man.
A man
He is,
amongst.
yeah, he is little.
Well, I don't know. He's thick.
Well,
He looked thick to me.
they give him 5'10",
I say 150. 175. I don't
There's
know
no
if he's
way.
175.
He's not 175.
He's 155.
No,
But he
I'd
can
say-
fly. And he's just quick. He's shifty.
Okay, maybe he's 175 with his helmet on and a barbell in each hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the 10-pound barbell in each hand, he might be 175.
It doesn't really matter.
No,
it doesn't.
Not right now.
He's
Doesn't
strong.
matter what he weighs.
He
Yeah.
is strong.
He's very shifty.
He's
fast.
hard to even get a hand on, much
I know.
less bring down.
Yeah.
And not only that, he did score 3 touchdowns in the game.
Yeah, he ran one in.
He ran it 2 in.
Yeah,
he ran 2.
He was in that Wildcat. They like
Wildcat.
to get him the ball, however it was. However they.
Yeah, their goal line offense where they have him and Hollifield in the backfield is that's tough to stop.
Yeah, the Hollifield
It is pretty
kid.
stout.
And what about their running back? What's his size? 21.
21, he's
little too.
Yeah, 5'9", 180, which I think is exaggeration
not 180.
as well. Although he had a pretty good game. I had him 19 carries for 73, so it didn't just throw the ball.
Well, you guys talking about teams?
Well, he
with
caught
small,
a couple big passes too.
he
He caught the touchdown right before the half.
That was the one that broke Lincoln's back.
Teams with small players last night. Burns had 15 guys that looked like they were 5'6", and they were good.
Yeah.
They were strong, but they looked like they were 5'6" and maybe 130 pounds. Yet they were good, but they also had some that looked like they were 6'6" and 350. They had some huge linemen on the line. Burns always does.
What got me was the size of Shelby's offensive front. Whoa.
Yeah,
and I hadn't looked up the weights, but they look huge.
I was just really impressed by their quarterback. And
I know.
The way he would move around in the pocket and find somebody when he was on the move.
Yeah. Yeah, and a sophomore. I didn't realize, for some reason I never caught on that he was a sophomore. So
and they always have a 6'4" quarterback.
Yeah, when have they not had a 6'4" quarterback?
Ever since they went to the spread,
That's
they've
right.
got
They
Norris Hopper.
Yeah, but that wasn't a spread.
No, he wasn't 6'4", but
yeah, he was good. But
yeah, I think I'd rather try to defend him now than when he was.
He wasn't 6'4", but he ran a 6'400".
Seemed like it. Anyway.
It'll be interesting to see how Salisbury can defend Shelby, because I would think Salisbury is a defensive team, and they have a great running back who's over 2,000.
And everybody talks about how fast he is.
And
so,
he's a junior.
So, oh really? So I guess you'll find out how fast he is when he's matched up with Shelby.
Rule,
I mean,
Jamal Rule or something Rule.
Ja Rule.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like.
Is it really?
It's Jamal. I think it's Jamal or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the kid continually found receivers open over the middle. Was Lincoln playing a zone? Was they playing a cover 2 zone? What was going on?
They were in man with the
man.
Yeah, well, usually with one safety.
Yeah, back.
Yeah.
But
he would just throw it right in front of the safety between.
Yeah.
And his timing was good on his passes too. You know, I mean, he just knew when to,
Yeah.
And even some of his incompletions bounced off the receiver's hands.
That's right. I mean, he threw some shots.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good.
Let's take a look now, real quick. The Bears just manhandled the Panthers. I'm just kidding. Nobody manhandled anybody.
We were talking about sports
on Thursday night. Huh?
I thought we were talking sports. Bears and Panthers.
That's pretty sad, isn't it? Poor old Thursday night. They don't get to change their games. But
now, did you hear the thing about
16-13?
Panthers fans are planning to protest at Bank of America Stadium Sunday.
The team?
They're protesting how bad they are. Fans. I thought I saw that.
What is the protest?
Want them to move?
Is it
trade with somebody?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what can you do. And
okay, if you were the Panthers and
if you're the fans and you want to protest, just cancel your ticket.
That's all you got to do.
Your ticket. Don't go to the games. Yeah. That's the most effective thing you can do.
Which franchise would be the worst? Could you trade and it be worse? Now I'm talking about an NFL franchise. I'm
right
not talking
now,
about Stony Brook
because all time it would be the Lions is who you would have to trade with to be the worst.
Yep.
But the most disappointing franchise
the Lions are good right now
in the history of NFL is the Bears.
The Bears, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I would still rather be the Bears right now than the Panthers
because they got the number. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, the Panthers are clearly the worst. Team.
And the Bears
right now.
The Bears do have one Super Bowl championship and several NFL championships before that came along, but they're still living off of that as well, which is sad. To me, it's always the most disappointing franchise in sports is the Chicago Bears.
And next Sunday, the Cowboys come to Charlotte. What percentage do you think will be Cowboys fans.
92.
I think it'd be 80-20 Cowboys fans over Panthers.
Yeah, they'll sell their
fans.
tickets.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you sell them at this point?
Get big dollar. Which will be more likely to happen? 80% Cowboy fans or 80 points for the Cowboys in that game? Because
yeah. And I think more interesting, will the Panthers score?
Oh, they'll score. It's hard to have a shutout in the NFL. I think they'll score. I don't know.
They haven't been shut out.
It's just going to be ugly.
Yet.
Very ugly. But Dallas's defense is one of the top defenses, though. It could, I could see their defense scoring 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
In that game, kind of like they did the Giants on opening night. And speaking of the Giants, that's one you don't really want to trade with right now either. You're talking about
no, not right now.
A franchise that's taking a step back
from 9-7, winning a first-round playoff game to this.
And they play Dallas this week. And Danny DeVito, I think I heard, was the quarterback. What's his name? Tommy DeVito?
Yeah,
it's got to be Danny's boy, right?
Did you know that
4'9"?
Did you know that Tommy DeVito was also a character in a movie called Goodfellas? He was a gangster.
I think I wouldn't have thought of that, but yeah, I do recall that. That movie was just on. I saw
Can anybody out there tell me who the actor was who played Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas?
I would go with
remember which one was
the late.
Tommy.
The late, is he dead?
No.
You know who I'm thinking about then? Ray Liotta. Because he's in that.
He is in it,
yeah.
But it's not Ray.
No, I don't know then.
Okay.
We'll see if somebody can get it since we got about 5 minutes left.
I got another one that still hadn't got my number song from Wilson Pickett.
I'm not going to get it. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to get it. I'll be honest. I'm not that. I named you the only Wilson Pickett song that I knew.
Okay.
Was Joe Pesci?
Right off the top of my head.
Joe Pesci.
He was
Joe Pesci?
It was Joe Pesci.
Yeah. I love Joe Pesci. He's a
okay,
great
I'll
actor.
go ahead and give it.
And 8 heads in a duffel bag is where I loved him.
634-5789. That's my number.
Say it again.
634-5789.
I've never heard that one.
Wilson Pickett.
Okay. So he had the phone number song before the legendary phone number.
Before Tommy Two-Tone, yeah.
How about that?
634-5789.
I will go ahead and tell you, Mike Powell, I'd have been here a month and had to have a lot of hints. Let's see, Ned says Ray Liotta was Henry Hill. Thank
right.
you. I always love Ray Liotta. If you wanted a bad guy, he was the ultimate. He was the ultimate bad guy in movies.
He was.
Oh, my gosh. Rodney has sent me a book here, some of my favorite number songs.
Right.
Another one, Bites the Dust.
Yeah.
One is The Loneliest Number.
Oh,
Three
great
Dog
one.
Night, the
Three
first one
Dog
by Queen,
Night.
obviously. 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad, Meatloaf.
Yeah.
7 Nation Army, White Stripes. I'm unfamiliar with that.
White Stripes, yeah. Jack White. Yeah.
That's one a lot of bands play the tune at football games.
Okay. 8 Mile.
8 Miles High.
No, 8 Mile. Anybody want to guess the artist? Brett should know the
Eminem.
artist.
Eminem.
Oh,
here's
looks
one.
at 40.
8 Miles High by the Byrds from the 60s.
Yeah, I do know that one.
Yeah.
A Pirate Looks at 40.
Okay.
No guesses?
Gotta
Jimmy
be
Buffett.
Jimmy
the
Buffett.
late Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, of course.
And this one you better get, Mike, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover.
Oh, yeah, Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Just hop on the
those
bus.
are some really
yes.
good ones.
Joe
I like
Pesci, I get as an answer as well. Ray Liotta, Henry Hill comes also from Ned, talking about the late Ray Liotta. As we wind down here, the Colts visit New England tomorrow. Bill Belichick, yes or no, he'll be the Bears coach next season?
No, I don't think so.
It's been mentioned.
Has it?
Yeah. Will he be in New England?
Even better question.
Washington.
That's what
I've
seen.
He going to run for president?
Washington's going to trade for him.
Going to trade for Bill Belichick. How old is the man now? Obviously, he can't get it done in New England. Why would somebody want him?
I know.
At this point. I mean, I like the guy. I always have. I respect what he's done. But it may be time just to, this is where the cowboy rides away type of thing. What?
71.
He's 71 years old? You really want to hire an NFL coach at 71? I mean, I don't, I'm just asking. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Is he really better right now at this point than Rivera?
That's a good
You take your chances, won't you, Brett?
Yeah,
You'll take Bill over.
I like
Ron.
Rivera a lot, but I'm ready for them to move on. But I would rather go with young offensive mind
Yep.
than old defensive mind. I mean, that's what they got right now.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Indianapolis at New England, Houston at Cincinnati, New Orleans visits Minnesota. These are two teams that might be playoff teams. Minnesota's really surprised people.
Both 5 and 4.
Yeah, after Cousins going out with the injury. What about Josh Dobbs and his performance when he didn't even know the players he was playing with last week, getting that win in Atlanta?
Yeah, but that's one game. Can he sustain that?
I thought, okay, here's one thing that everybody forgets, and I'd forgot about this too, but I was listening to something yesterday and said about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Think about that. With the Cardinals, he beat the Cowboys. I think if they don't, I think if Minnesota's not successful the rest of the way, I don't think it'll be his fault.
Right.
I'll put it that
Now,
way.
where did he play college ball?
Tennessee.
A&M? Tennessee?
Wasn't it Tennessee?
Was it Tennessee?
Brett?
I think so.
Okay.
Dobbs, a Tennessee guy?
I thought it was Texas A&M. I could be wrong. Okay.
Well, we'll bet breakfast.
I am wrong.
Tennessee.
New Orleans at Minnesota. Green Bay at Pittsburgh. Tennessee, speaking of Tennessee, the Titans go to Tampa Bay. San Francisco at Jacksonville. That's a tough place to try and end a 3-game losing streak. Jacksonville pretty hot right now. Cleveland at Baltimore. That may be your game of the day.
Yeah.
Especially in the early games. Cleveland at Baltimore. That's going to be a defensive
Look at what
struggle.
Baltimore's done lately.
Let me tell you something. Baltimore.
Oh, they've been blowing people out.
Baltimore's a Super Bowl winner. If I had to pick it right now, mid-season, Baltimore's going to win the Super Bowl.
Hey, my pick at the beginning of the year was
they dismantled
Ravens
Seattle
over Eagles.
and Detroit.
Yeah, this is
two playoff teams in the NFC, and they just dismantled both of them over the past couple of weeks.
So you're picking them over KC?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Better all-around team right now.
Yeah,
yep.
so.
And they can run the ball, and they'll be at home. Yeah, I would take Baltimore right now. Atlanta at Arizona, Detroit at the Rams, the Giants visit Dallas. Will it be worse than the 40-0 opener?
No, it won't be worse.
Don't think?
No.
It could. DeVito at QB. Can't see over the line.
Tommy DeVito, baby.
Washington at Seattle. That's a tough break, Brett. For them have to be going to Seattle off the Seahawks coming off of a loss.
Yeah.
And the new-look Raiders.
Yeah.
Playing at home against the Jets.
Love their interim.
Can they keep it going? Because they had energy last week that they haven't had in 2 years.
That's right.
They had energy. Denver at Buffalo on Monday night.
Oh, God. Bad game.
Both teams really struggling right now. Even Buffalo hasn't been the Buffalo that we expected to see.
They got to win that
season.
one because you look at the gauntlet they're facing. They've got a really tough schedule.
Congratulations to the high school teams that went out last night. We want to say congratulations that went out over the past 2 nights. It was a good season if you got this far. Good luck to the others moving forward. For Mike, Brett, I'm David. We'll see you next week on Sports Talk. Thanks for tuning in.